I've never been to Vegas. I don't know if I like gambling enough to really live it up the way everybody seems to love gambling. I'd pick one of the simple games. I would learn how to play craps because everybody at the craps table at every casino I've ever been to, those guys are fucking laughing. They're joking. They're having a fun ass time. And then like the really serious people are at the poker tables or the blackjack tables. And I would be too intimidated because what I've learned from mostly Kyle is like blackjack and stuff like that is a bit of a team game. And so I would be worried that I would, through ignorance, fuck it up for like the guy sitting to my right or sitting to my left.
Like small stakes, nobody will care. That's the thing. Like if you're playing like $2 blackjack, nobody gives a fuck. There's lots of like weird games to learn. There's 3-card pokers and Chinese pokers and baccarat and stuff. There's lots of silly games like that to goof around on. But if we went there, my goal would be to teach you how to play, Texas Hold'em. If I was with you, I would trust you to instruct me.
Yeah.
Like that game's so fun because everybody's sitting there like drinking and talking. If you're at a table where nobody's talking, then it's no fun. But if everybody's sitting there having a good time, it really is fun.
I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Vegas plenty of times, but it's just like I've never gambled. Like I think I've gambled like maybe once on a slot machine, and I was like, okay, that's good. I had my Vegas gambling experience, lost $5, and I'm good.
Slot machine seems like the most boring. You don't get to do anything.
Yeah. No, there's nothing, and it's all computerized, and like 100%, you're just flushing this money down the toilet. But Vegas is really good to people watch. Like if you want to look at just a variety of people. So if you're looking at Las Vegas Boulevard, like where the fountains of the Bellagio are, so you have there's street performers, there's strippers trying to get people into a club, like literally smacking people in the ass as they go by. There's these like Mexicans giving out like playing cards for hookers you can get in your room. They go like that. They don't speak English, but they're at every probably 20-ish feet. And then you have the weird tourists who bring like their kids. So they'll have like strollers at like 1:30 in the morning walking down Vegas Boulevard. And I'm like, what is happening? This is crazy. This is like every GTA NPC just on one street.
It's a great environment walking down the boulevard there because you smell weed and the women aren't wearing much. And occasionally you'll just see some random titties get flashed and everybody everybody's having a good time. Like you don't see the depressed loser out there. It's everybody's up. Everybody's doing good when they're, walking around outside. And then there's street acts that are usually pretty fun. There's those guys that they have the Transformers, like the cartoon, and they like turn into the truck and just drive and they hop up and transform into a man. It's great. I don't even know how they do it.
No, that sounds fun.
Yeah, you should go. Also, the shows.
There's also all right. So you would let me sell it to you. The buffets are genuinely one of the most impressive things in the world. You drop, $50 to $150 for these all-you-can-eat buffets, and you get what you pay for. So it'll be all-you-can-eat crab and lobster and seafood and steaks and ribeyes and just fantastic sides as far as the eye can see.
Dude, I would take them for I could lose $400 at the casino and take them for a ride.
There's like a top 10 list of like, of course there is of like, but there's a plethora of wonderful all you can eat buffets, and it's like, oh, go to this. You got to go to this one. No, the one at the Wynn. No, the one at the Bellagio. No, go over here to this poker room. They have the best thing. They do brats all day. Like it's like that. It's fun to do.
I like that. I would want the hot shows. Crab. Not the cold.
The shows
crab.
are really good too. Like even if you're not necessarily, you might think you're not a Britney Spears, but when you see her in concert, you're like, "Fuck, that was great!" They put on a goddamn show.
Biff,
the
future.
So the premise of the second one, partially speaking, is that Biff, the bully from his dad's high school, got the almanac, the sports almanac, and he's been using it his whole life basically to become a Donald Trump-esque billionaire with all of his winnings, and he's the villain in the future.
He was known as the world's luckiest man because he never lost a sports bet. And
I would be tactically losing sometimes. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think that makes sense, but I don't know.
That also comes up in the Stephen King book 11/22/63 because he's gone to the past. The way he's chosen to make money is through gambling, but he wins too much, and they come after him.
What is he doing it in like underground illegal circles?
He's East Coast. There's nothing else to do.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought there were always states that had.
I don't know. Atlantic City was legal through my whole life.
It was the 60s.
This was the 60s. Yeah, so I'm not sure when it became legal.
Yeah, okay. He's having to deal with like semi-nefarious, like back alley gambling establishments as he goes.
Well, that's a terrible place to win too much.
That would be a fun, like you know, to have all that information and to be the luckiest man in the world. Like you'd not only want to win your bets, but you'd want to start like a program where you taught people to win their bets and just bullshit it. You got to believe. You got to see it. You just make it up. It doesn't matter. You know what's going to happen. You got to tell them how to analyze teams and pretend like there's like game theory and statisticians working for you, but really you just got the almanac.
Yeah, really you just have an answer sheet.
If you could do it with stocks, they'd let you keep going.
Yeah, if you had the stock,
and you would have been way richer.
You could do all sorts of insane things. You could buy low and sell high, and you could mess with futures any number of ways to just make insane amounts of money and become a fucking trillionaire.
Are there maxes in gambling? Like if Elon Musk was like, I want to put $5 billion on the Florida Panthers to, win this series and win the Stanley Cup this year, would like casinos take that, or would they be like, oh no, maximum is a million, 2 million, whatever the number is?
Sports gambling's weird because they're like, it seems to be a bit of a science, and you do see really big bets, like $500,000, $1 million bets on prize fights and stuff go down. But when someone like Dana White wants to go there and play blackjack for like $50,000 or $100,000 a hand, they're often in like special side away private VIP rooms where certain casinos will take that action and certain won't. Like Phil Ivey, famous Texas Hold'em player, is one of the best. I think he's the best Texas Hold'em player in the world. Mm-hmm. I always thought he was. He was just incredibly accomplished. And
he's a black guy, right?
Black guy. He always has his mouth open. He's the one that Polk was talking about when he was on a month or so ago, who took all those Chinese casinos for, it was 9 or 12 million because they were card edging or whatever you call it. Like there was a particular brand of poker cards that were misprinted in a way that you could memorize the backs of them and know what was there. And so he would go to the casino and he'd say, look, I want to play, I think it's Baccarat, but I could be wrong. I want to play Mahjong or whatever the fucking game is. I want to play this game with this deck. I want a private room. I want 3 private dealers who can sub in and sub out. I want champagne here. I want the green M&Ms. This is Lucy. She's my partner. She plays with me. I bank. She bets. By the way, she's an expert at reading the cards. Like he's brought in someone who's like, he's good at it, but it's all she does. And he took them for like tens of millions, like 9 or 12, 20 million, something crazy. They actually won a court settlement against him, and they started garnishing his World Series of Poker winnings, and like they're getting their money back from him. So now he only plays in like this other, I say now, I don't follow it like super closely, but now I only see him playing in like these Asian tournaments and cash games. Like he's not in the like a American scene. It's definitely not cheating if you ask me, because
that seems crazy that they won against him because they made a mistake with the cards.
He told them to pick those cards, and those were like legit cards, but he had found a secret about that card that they didn't know. He didn't go and it's what some people will actually do, like, and you've seen this, they'll mark the cards that they're currently playing with, so that if they see that card over by you, they know that's an ace, and they know you have an ace, which is a huge amount of information in a game where each player has 2 cards.
Well, that's obviously cheating, but it doesn't seem like what this guy did, which was just exploiting a mistake. That's not cheating. That's on the fucking casino. That's ridiculous.
I would feel cheated though. Like if I lost to him and then I found out he knew what my cards were the whole time, I would.
Well, he's playing against the house. There's no like player. It's all against the.
I follow,
the
but I'm just trying to apply like the same morality. Like it's easy to root for the individual over the company because that's my sort of knee-jerk reaction too. But if I try to think about what's right versus wrong, forgetting the fact that one's a person and one's a corporation, to say you have to play with what's basically a marked deck and I know it and you don't, and then I beat you for what would you say, tens of millions of dollars?
Yeah, it was like 12 mil, something like that. Let me see.
It feels like he cheated, and I know it's a corporation, but cheating's cheating.
Baccarat, by the way, 9.6 mil. In 2012, him and his partner Chang Yin Sun won $9.6 million playing Baccarat at the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City, and that was just one of his like nights. Like you got to keep in mind, like he was doing this everywhere that would do that.
Isn't Baccarat one of the simpler games?
I only know how to play Texas Hold'em. I'm not qualified to talk about it. Even blackjack. I don't know how to play at a higher than just silly tourist level. Hold'em's the only thing I know even a little bit about. And other poker-based games like a stud and draw in Omaha. I know a little. Same.
Which one is the one where you get 5?
Stud. Or
what is
5-card draw is also.
Okay. I should have known that. But like, what amongst poker pros, what do they see as like the game that best elucidates your skill? Because I know I've seen like enough Magnus Carlsen shit where apparently in the chess world it's like classic chess, like classical style chess is where you really separate the men from the boys. It's not speed chess. It's like where you are using your entire brain with plenty of time to analyze and think, and maybe I shouldn't do that. Like you're not pressed, and so they see that as like the ultimate clash.
I think they would say there are these tournaments. First of all, it would be a tournament that is high stakes, so it would be $10,000 to $50,000 entry fee. So you get real people who are playing in a serious way. But then they play a mixed game, and they mix Texas Hold'em, Omaha, and a couple other games. I think it's 4 different games, and it rotates. I think that's probably the most difficult discipline of poker, and you would imagine that the people who are best at that are probably best at poker, period. But the most popular game has always been Texas Hold'em. And I think that's where it makes a lot of sense for people to put their time into Texas Hold'em, because if you're the real money isn't to be had necessarily winning tournaments and cash games, unless you legitimately are the best player in the world or one of those best players in the world. But those sponsorship deals, that's the way. When you're not paying your entry fees anymore, when your losses are being covered, and you're getting paid a salary because you're directing gamblers to whatever website. Like when that was going on, that's when those people were getting actually rich. Like plenty of people win $10 million in a tournament every year. Like people, they track people's career earnings, and you can see whether they're up or down online, for example. There are guys who have gone on $16 million losing streaks, and it's like, he's just done. But the guys that were shuffling people they get sponsorship money was the thing. I know it's not as big as it once was. I'm sure YouTube poker players probably do pretty well in that regard. But until they open the US up and like make it legal again, I don't know if they're going to have another boom like that. It was a huge industry. I don't remember how much money was the online poker industry was worth, but I thought it was billions. It was crazy. Everybody was playing in the early 2000s. We were all obsessed. Everybody knew was obsessed. Like my bosses played, my coworkers played. Like everyone was into it.
Do you think if they made the laws surrounding it more lax, it would return to that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If they just made it so that all 50 states could just log into a FDIC sort of guaranteed insured kind of gambling website where you didn't know you were getting ripped off and you could always have your money protected. You didn't have to deal with like the Bahamas or some offline account or some sketchy bullshit or using Amazon cards to move your money or whatever. And then you also allowed like advertising for that gambling. it would just create a cycle of money. Like people would watch people play online and on TV, and those people would go online and play, and then it would just go round and round forever. It's a huge industry.
Are we a weird country? Like, is this totally legal in like Europe and other places, or is it? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I really
think of poker as such an American thing. I've never thought about that before. Like, maybe that's just Hollywood influencing me.
Well, it's weird the way we legislate around gambling anyway, because we have state lotteries. It's perfectly fine to bet on the horses, but you can't bet on the football game unless you're in this state. Then you absolutely can.